Hey, I'm Chris Barnett, lead builder with J&J Chemical, and today we're going to show you how to build the J&J Echo. Alright, first thing we're going to do is go over the hardware and tools that you'll need. We'll start off with the hardware first. First we have a 1415 gold high-low screw with bonded washer. Then we have a 1/4 20 by 1 stainless bolt with bonded washer, followed by a 1/4 20 by 2.5 stainless bolt. You'll have 2 1/4 inch stainless flat washers, 1/4 20 lock nut, 3/16 by 9/16 tapered in flathead rivet, a cap nut. Then you'll have 3/16 large flange rivet, rubber washer, 3/16 backing washer, mirror anchor, and then a green-red sticker. 1/4 20 drill bit, 3/16 drill bit, 7/16 nut driver, 7/16 wrench, a Phillips head screwdriver or Phillips head bit for a drill, block of wood, rubber hammer. Optional, you can use a clamp, just any standard. Then you're going to have just a regular drill, impact driver, rivet gun. Also, we use the J&J Echo assembly tool, which you can purchase at J&J Chemical. Now we're going to start the build process. First thing you want to do is get 3 side panels, 2 T-molds, 16 of the 3/16 by 9/16 tapered in rivets, and 16 cap nuts. Now, when we do this, you want to either have a table, sawhorse, and if you don't have a sawhorse or a table available, you can always use 2 tanks and stand them on their ends to give you enough height to build the panels together. Alright, so now once you have everything laid out, you're going to take one of the side panels, lean it back, slide your T-molding over one side, and then you'll take, from that point, slide the other panel into the T-molding in sections, starting at one end or the other. As you're doing it, you'll line up a hole, one of the holes, take a 3/16 9/16 tapered in, slide it through, put your cap nut on, and then you skip one and go to the next and repeat the same process. You'll do this all the way down till you get all the way to the end, and once you get them all the way, all the way, then you come back, fill in the gaps. Now keep in mind, you want to make sure that the rivet goes through the T-molding and the plastic together, otherwise the T-molding can pop out. Now once you have all your pins down one side put in and cap nuts on it, you want to come back with your Echo clamp tool and just lock all your cap nuts down onto the rivets. And you'll repeat the same process for the other side. Now that you have both sides completed, you want to make sure that the cap nuts are on the top, and then we're going to assemble our base. Now when we assemble the base, you want to make sure that the big opening tank hole is facing the top with the smooth side or textured surface to the inside. What you're going to do is lift and slide it underneath, lift up on the panel, slide your base under. At this point, you're going to use 4 1/4 20 by 1 bolts, 3 1415 high-low screws, your impact driver, the 7/16 nut driver, and a 3/8 nut driver. Now your first thing you want to do is start by putting a 1/4 20 in the pre-drilled riv nut on base. Now I'm actually going to slide it back so you can see the riv nuts. You have one here, and the same on the other side. So we'll get back to putting it together. Just start. All you got to do is just start your screw in, and you want to do that to all 4 riv nuts. Best thing that I like to do is do my back ones first, and then do the 2 on the side. You'll repeat the same process to the other side. Now once you have all 4 1/4 bolts started, you want to grab the impact driver and 3/8 nut driver and use your the 14-1/5 high-low screws. Now what you want to try to do is angle the panel to where you can see a pre-drill on the base in each hole. And you want to try your best to catch those. So you do all three 14-1/5s first. Then you switch to your 7/16 nut driver. From that point, you want to do your side first and go all the way over to the other side and repeat the same process. And at this point, your base is secured to your 3 sides. Now, before you put the door on, you want to make sure you put your tank in. And inside your tank, you'll have a urinal, which you want to put in this bottom hole. And then you'll grab a vent tube and put in the top hole on the left corner. Now, if the vent tube won't go in with ease, you can take and put your knee right on the tank and put a little pressure, and it'll actually allow the vent tube to go in a lot easier. You want to slide your vent tube below the roof edge of your panels. Next, we're going to install the door. Now, when you go to put the door on, you want to make sure that the center hole and the door on either side lines up with the pre-seated riv nut in the base. Once you have the door set up here, you want to take the 1/4 and just start it in the riv nut. You don't have to lock it down. You just want it threaded in on both sides to help the door from falling, keep the door from falling over on you. Now once you get the 1/4 ran in by finger to a snug amount, you're going to take one 3/16 9/16 tapered end rivet and one cap nut and come to your side panel and your door, and you're going to line them up, pushing the rivet from the front of the door to the back of the panel, and push your cap nut on to undo the same thing to both sides. Now that you have both sides riveted, you want to check your spacing on your door, and then you're going to go through with the 14-1/5s. You're going to run your 14-1/5 in each of those holes. If you look, there's a kiss that you would like to try to get the screw into. It doesn't always line up perfectly, but you want to be as close as possible. Repeat for the other side. Now once all 4 high-low screws are screwed in, you want to switch over to your 7/16 nut driver and tighten up your 1/4 bolts. Now once you have all 4 high-low screws and both 1/4 bolts secured, you're going to come to the sides to the door and finish putting the tapered rivets in. Now make sure that the head of the rivet is facing the door and the cap nut is on the side, is facing the side panel. Once all pins are in, you'll go through with your Echo tool and clamp them all down. Once you've done this step, you'll repeat it on the other side as well. Now that you have the door on, we're going to put the roof on. Now make sure when you put the roof, you have the hole for the vent tube going to the back left corner. For this assembly, we're going to use a pre-drilled roof. For this assembly, we're going to use 18 large flange rivets, 18 rubber washers, and 18 backing washers. So what you want to do is you want to make sure the rubber washer goes on, and then you're going to line up the pre-drilled hole in the roof to the pre-drilled hole in the door. You're going to do the same thing with the one right beside it. Once you have all of the pins in, you're going to take your rivet gun and start in the corner, and you're going to put the backing washer on at the bottom and rivet. Now what I do is I come over to the other side and do the same process to go ahead and make sure that the roof cannot pull from either side or the other. Once both corners are riveted, you can start from either side of the other and go all the way across. Once the front side has been completed, you're going to go to the very back. Right, now on the back side, you're going to line up your corner, and then you're just going to walk your way down the roof, all the way across. Now that you have the front and the back completed, you're going to do the same thing that you did for the back to both sides. Now that you've got the roof secured, your next step is to secure the base, your tank, which you'll have somebody inside to hold the tank down, and then you'll set your vent tube. So we're going to start with securing the base first. Now to do this, you'll need 16 high-low screws total. You'll start here on your side. You'll repeat the same exact process for the other side. Now once you have both sides secured, you're going to come to the back with your person holding the tank down. You're going to do 3 screws in the back. You have a kiss point here, kiss point here, and a kiss point here you're going to want to use. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start on this side. Then go to your middle. And then this side. Once you have your back secured, you're going to come to your side, and you have a kiss point here and a kiss point here. Now you have to be careful because you have multiples in this area. You want to go right above this hectagon. And then you'll repeat the same process for the other side. Now once you have that done, your person inside the unit will pop the vent through the hole in the roof. Now once they have it, you're going to take your 2x4, hold it sideways, you're going to come beside the vent tube, and you're going to have them set the vent tube to the height of the block of wood. Come up, Tony. Up, down just a hair, a little more, right there. Once that's done, you'll go inside and screw the vent tube in place. Now when you get ready to secure the vent tube, there's a kiss right in this spot that you're going to want to put your screw into. And then your vent tube is set. Once that is done, you're going to drill, if you have a urinal, this hole and this hole. Now we're going to secure the optional urinal. Like as I stated, we're going to drill these 2 holes. And then we're going to take 2 flat 3/16 by 9/16 tapered end rivets, put them in place. You'll walk the urinal out, line it up to the hole. And what you'll do at this point is you'll take, with your person on the outside, you'll hold the rivets in place with a block. They'll put cap nuts on them. Once the cap nuts are on and the rivets are held with the block, you're going to tap the cap nuts securely with a rubber hammer. Now once those are secured, you're going to drill the bottom hole for the urinal. Once that is done, put your pin in and put your block behind it and repeat the outside the same way. Once you have the urinal in place, you're going to put your optional 2 or 3 roll holder in. Today we're going to use a 2 roll. And you're going to drill the first 4 holes. And you're going to make sure you use a 1/4 inch bit when you drill these holes to allow movement room for your rivets to be able to install. For a 2 roll holder, you're going to use 4 of the 3/16 9/16 tapered end rivets. For a 3 roll, you will use 6. What you want to do is slide 2 pins in, depending on comfort level. Take your fingers, hold both of those rivets in, slide it up to the wall, slide them in, and then you're going to come to the other side while holding them and slide the cap nut on with your other hand. Once you have that in place, you'll put the other 2 rivets in place and cap nut them as well. Once you have all 4 in place, you'll take your block of wood, put over 2 of the rivets on the inside, pushing outward, and then use your hammer and tap them in place. Do the same thing for the other side. And now your shelf toilet paper holder is installed. Now that you've secured your toilet paper holder, you're going to put your rod in. The way we do them is we take and put the angle side to the wall so that you don't have a sharp edge or point to catch anybody's arm, clothing, whatever. Now once you have it through, you can either put a lock, zip tie, whatever your preference is, in the pinhole right here, and it is held in place. Once you have the toilet paper holder installed, you're going to drill for your shelf, which is an option as well. What you want to do is you have 2 holes on this side, 2 holes on this side. You want to drill all 4 of them. And when you drill these, make sure you use a 3/16 drill bit. Now with the optional shelf, you'll use a 3/16 pop rivet. You'll come from the outside of the panel and push it through like so into the shelf. Once you have the shelf in place, you'll slide on a backing washer and pop it, have your outside person pop the rivet. Now once they have that corner secured, you want to have them come to this back corner and they'll pop it through this back side. Now here you're going to have to angle your rivet down, angle it down so that you can get the washer on. Alright, pop it. And here next you'll do either side on the centers. Pop it. Alright, pop it. Now that you have your urinal, toilet paper holder, and shelf installed, we're going to go to your door latch. So you'll need a red-green label and your door latch. Now what you want to do is you want to take your sticker and angle it just a little past this pre-made indentation, like so. Once you have that done, you'll take your screwdriver, or you can use your bolt. Go ahead and pop it through. You go ahead and pop it through the sticker just to make sure to give it a clean access. Once you have the label in place, you want to make sure that when your latch is in the lock position, that only the red shows in the indicator hole, and when in the unlocked position, only the green. Once that is done, you're going to push your bolt the 1/4 by 2.5 with one washer on this side through the latch bolt all the way through, sticking out, and then you're going to put another 1/4 flat washer with the lock nut on this side. Here you'll use your 7/16 wrench on the outside of the door and your 7/16 nut driver to the inside to tighten up the bolt and lock nut. You want to have about 2 to 3 threads showing on the latch, on the inside of the bolt, in theory. And you should have a little bit of tension when you turn, not too much, because as it works, it'll get a little bit looser. Once you have your latch bolt installed, you're going to go to your optional mirror. Now, when you do your mirror, you want to take and hold it in place, and then you're going to take the 3/16 drill bit and drill your 4 holes, making sure when it first goes through to pull back immediately so as to not go through the front of the door. Once that has been completed, you'll peel back your corners, and then you can install the mirror with the 4 mirror anchors that come in your kit. When you go to install it, just hold it in place, pop them in. If you're keeping it on your yard for storage for just a little bit, I recommend leave the label over it. Keep your mirror clean. If you're getting ready to send it on out, go ahead and pull that label on off. You're good to go. Once you have your door completed, you're going to put your toilet seat in. You're going to take your seat bolt, stick it through, and then you're going to stick your bolts through the 2 pre-drilled holes in the tank and put the nut on like so. Your nut should fit like thread on in this direction. So what we'll do, thread it on real quick. Then we'll just take a Phillips head screwdriver and tighten them down. Now again, here you can either use a screwdriver or you can use a Phillips head bit and a drill, depending on your discretion. Once you have them tight, let it sit down, put the covers on, and your Echo toilet is complete. Thank you for watching the video on the assembly. Now that you've completed every step, your J&J Echo porta potty is ready for your fleet.